This shirt is a disaster, but its badge is still glorious. I am about to perform a delicate operation to transfer this onto this. It's much cleaner twin. So stick around and see whether it'll survive the operation. And if this sounds like the sort of video that you're going to enjoy, please remember to click like, subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Hello there and welcome back to our channel. Now, this shirt here is the iconic Soviet Union red meat shirt, and you are not seeing triple. I do genuinely have 3 of these. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to take a donor, so this badge, off of this shirt, which is damaged. I mean, look, it's only got foam there, it's not got any Adidas there, and apply it safely onto a twin shirt that just needs it a little bit more. I'll be taking you through the process step by step, but how good will the shirt look at the end? Who knows? Stick with me and this video and you will find out. But without further ado, I'm going to take you over to the other side and we're going to get working. So here we are over at the bench. Now, this is the badge we're going to be taking off. And as you can see, it's kind of like a bit of a plasticky feel to it. There's different variations of this shirt. I'm wearing a different one where the badge is sewn on and there's no Adidas trefoil. But this particular one, this has got like a plastic feel badge. So given that we're going to use a solvent to remove it, we need to be really careful that the solvent doesn't damage the plastic. So solvent we're going to use today is VLR. And if you look at the back of the badge, you can see that the adhesive is just a line there. I don't think it's stuck here. We'll see. I'm not convinced it's stuck there. So what we're going to need to do is apply the VLR carefully along the line where the adhesive is. So what I'm going to do, rather than doing it like, because it's quite a valuable shirt and a delicate shirt, rather than applying too much, I'm going to put some tissue over my fingers. Don't really want the VLR getting on my fingers. And we're just going to test a dab and see whether VLR is the right solvent for this particular job. So we're going to start at a corner and we're just going to apply a little bit along and see. Now, let's get that off. Wipe your finger, move it out of the way. And we're just going to gently pull this around. I can see, look, already it's starting to come off. But we're just going to gently pull this around. This is like a 30-year-old shirt. The material is going to be really, really delicate, especially as it gets wet and especially when it's got a solvent on it. So you don't want to pull around too much, but you want to just tug enough to feel whether the artifact you're removing, in this case the badge, is coming away from the material. And it is, but you've got to be careful that you don't get any of the solvent on your fingers and then you start rubbing it on the badge, because that is going to cause damage to the badge. And the key thing here with this particular one, we want this to come off cleanly so we can reuse it and bring that other shirt back to life. So let's have a look. Here we go. So it's coming off nicely. And you can see that the back has got almost like it's got the blade of foam, which is what I would expect. It looks like it's almost like glitter in the foam. So, but you can see now that sometimes you can just, where you get a corner, you don't need to apply the solvent all the way around. That just gives you that edge so that you can pull it off all the way around. But given it's quite a sensitive shirt or delicate shirt, you're going to need to be a little bit careful not to leave a mark on it. But at the minute, we're going around carefully and just pulling it. If you feel like there's too much resistance on the material, or you can see that there's pulling on the material, you need to stop what you're doing and go back to using the solvent. But what I'm going to do is just keep gradually and gently pulling the badge off, because the less solvent we use, the better, both for the material of the shirt and for the artifact that we're using. You can see he's pulling the shirt a little bit, but I'm going to go round. If I decide to apply some more solvent, then I'll go back to filming, but I'm going to go round, remove it, and then I'll be back. So here we are, we're halfway through removing it. You can see that here's the layer of padded foam, this thin layer of foam. This is what gives the badge the padded effect. And you can see that although there was adhesive around the edges, there are bits of the badge where it's actually stuck to the shirt, and it's the bits where the foam is. So you can see, look here, there's foam there, and that would have been there, but it's now come away. Like I say, it's a 30-year-old badge, so things like this is to be expected. I'm now getting covered in glitter, so I've got a feeling, a bit like sand when you get sand in your shoes when you go to the beach. I've got a feeling I'm going to be finding glitter all over the place for the foreseeable future. But as you can see, the process of just gently pulling, I haven't applied any more solvent, just gently pulling the badge away from the shirt is working. So like I say, I'm going to finish getting the badge off and then I'll be back. So here we have it. Here's your shirt. This is the donor shirt, by the way. And here is the badge. The badge has come off nicely. There's no damage to it. It looks pretty good. So the next thing we need to do is we now need to start attaching this to the new shirt. So to be able to do that, we're going to use our Heat and Bond Ultra Hold. We've done a few videos on this. It's fantastic stuff. It's really quite hard wearing and it's really good, cheap, easy to get hold of. There's a link to this in the description below. I think I got this one from Amazon. But here's the badge. Here is in true Blue Peter style, one I made earlier. You can see it matches pretty much exactly. All you do is use a pencil. There's two sides to this. You've got the gummy side and you've got the backing side. Just use a pencil to trace around the badge and then use some nice scissors to cut it off and get a nice straight edge. So what we're going to do now is we're going to apply the badge to the donor shirt. So I'll need an iron for that. I'll be back. Did you know that we've recently launched our first ever ebook, which is the ultimate guide on how to do name set removals? It's 118, I think, pages filled to the brim with information about identifying types of name set, how to remove it, how to get rid of all the stains, everything you can possibly need to get from start to finish with removing any name set. If you're interested in buying one of these ebooks, it's got an introductory price of £40. There is a link, well, it's probably up there, and there's definitely a link in the description of the video. So if you're interested, give it a go. So here we are on the ironing board. We've got an iron on medium. We've got our badge here that we're going to stick. We've got some heat tape that we're going to use. And we've got our bit of Heat and Bond cut to size. So first thing you're going to do, with the side that is a bit abrasive, there's a shiny side that's got the backing on, and you've got the abrasive side. This is the side with the adhesive. First thing you're going to do is we're going to stick this to the back of the badge. Now remember, at all times, especially with this shirt, this is a plastic badge, so heat will kill this badge. We don't want to be applying too much heat, certainly not ever to the front of the badge, but even when you're going through the back, you just got to be mindful that too much heat is going to damage or melt the badge. So what we're going to do is we're going to line up the Heat and Bond on the back of the badge. And once we've got it lined up, we're going to get the heat tape and we're just going to tape down the corners so it doesn't move while we're ironing it. Go. Here's the last corner. So that is now all ironed down on the ironing board. And what I'm going to do with the iron is just for like 2 or 3 seconds, 1, 2, apply the heat to the back. And that should give it just enough time for the adhesive to stick to the back of the badge. So we're going to give that 15 seconds or so, and then we're going to peel it off. So I'll be back. Right, so giving it about 15 seconds, 20 seconds, we are now going to peel it off the ironing board, and we're going to find a corner, and we're just going to peel off the backing. Here we go, it comes off nice and easily. Make sure all the backing paper comes off. It's always one bit. Here we go. Just as I'm filming, the printer starts cleaning itself. Lovely. So, I'll tell you what, I'll wait for the printer to finish and then I'll be back. Okay, printer has finished cleaning. So, if you look at the back of the badge now, you see there's a sheen to it. That's because there is now a nice adhesive layer stuck on the back of the badge. So what we need to do now is attach this to the shirt. So I'm going to get the shirt set up and then I'll be back. So shirt is now, this is the shirt I'm attaching the badge to, is now on the ironing board ready. This is the area. You can even still see a faint outline where the badge was and some of the glitter left from the original badge. So what we're going to do, make sure you get the badge the right way around. Last thing you want to do is stick it upside down. So we're going to line the badge up with the outline of the old badge, and that matches exactly as I would expect it to. Then we're going to use some heat tape, a fair bit of heat tape, to hold it all in place, because we are going to be turning the shirt inside out to apply the heat. I cannot overemphasize how important it is that you never apply the iron to the front of the badge, especially this one, because like I say, it's plastic. But even for any other type of badge or any other item that you're working on, always apply it to the back, because it's the back where the adhesive is that needs to stick to the material. What you don't want is all the heat to go through the item that you're attaching before it gets to the adhesive, because it won't stick and you'll have to apply more heat than you need to, and it will almost certainly damage things. So here is the badge. It's all nicely stuck down. I'm going to turn the shirt inside out and then I'll be back. So here's the shirt inside out. Maybe you can see that. Let's just move the ironing board back. Here is the badge. We're going to apply the iron to it, but again, never apply a hot iron directly to the material, because that will be the end of the shirt. You'll have an irreparable damage. So what I use, you can either use Teflon sheet if you've got it, or this is a little bit more accessible. This is just silicone paper. It's kind of like greaseproof or baking paper. I'm not sure I'd advocate using standard baking paper because it might leave a layer of grease, but this is silicone paper. It's really quite cheap. And I'm going to apply it to the back of the shirt. And then we're going to use the iron, again, still on a medium, and we're going to run it for about 8 to 10 seconds. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We always keep the iron moving so it doesn't get hot spots. If we just feel the back, yeah, I'm not entirely convinced that's long enough. It doesn't feel hot enough. So it doesn't mean we're going to make the iron hotter. It just means we might have to give it a little bit longer. Because it's got to get through the silicone paper, we're going to give it a little bit longer. So I'm going to give it another 10 seconds or so. Like I say, keep the iron moving so that you don't get any hot spots. Keep moving it around, and then it should be good to go. So let's feel now. Oh yeah, right, that's hot. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to use a weight to leave on the back of the badge to give it a bit of purchase. So what I'm going to use, I've got the Arsenal shirt collector's edition. Other books are available and can be used, but given that I'm a massive Arsenal fan, this is a pretty weighty book, I'm going to use this. So I'm going to give this about 15-20 minutes to cool down, and then I'll be back to show you the final results. So here we are, 15 minutes later. Let's take the book off. I'm going to turn the shirt back around the right way. Let's lay it over the board so you can see it. Here we go. And then we're going to find the edge, some tape, and we're just going to carefully peel the tape off. You want to make sure you don't pull the badge off at the same time, just in case the glue hasn't set. I mean, the longer you leave it, the better. But for the purposes of filming, 15 minutes was enough. I just got to carefully pull this off, and wow, that looks incredible. Here is the final result. It's nice and stuck. So I'm just going to clean this up and I'll be back. And here we have it. Here is that finished shirt. Look at that badge. You would never know that that badge has actually come off of this shirt. Look at that. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please remember to click like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. And if you've enjoyed this video, you're going to love this one and this one. See you next week.